Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I am HiFi-Dawson and this is the Shanling EC Play portable CD player. It is Shanling's latest portable CD player in their lineup of CD players, which include the EC0 AKM and the EC0T. This is the lighter, cheaper, smaller version of the three. And today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about this CD player here. So let's get into it. All right, before getting any further, Shanling did provide this to me for review, but as always, all thoughts and opinions of this product are my own. I was not paid to say anything. They don't even know I'm making this video, and they won't even see this video until you do. So what is this? This is a portable CD player that plays CDs, has a battery, so it's portable. It plays CDs, CDRs, CDRWs, you can burn your own CDs. It also has Bluetooth support. So you can use Bluetooth headphones and TWS earbuds, 3.5mm and 4.4mm balanced output support. It can also be a USB-DAC and a Bluetooth DAC. So it is sort of a multifunction CD player that we have seen lately, same as the other Shanling CD players. It supports gapless CD playback, and you do not need an app or anything to use this thing. And it's available in black, silver, and this spring green, I think it's called, spring green. Yeah. So let's get into the specs. So the Shanling EC Play CD player. It retails for about 200 USD or 220 euros. As I said, it's a portable CD player with a USB DAC and USB Bluetooth, and it also supports Bluetooth headphones. It uses the Cirrus Logic 43198 DAC, which is a newer, pretty good DAC chip, and it has two amplifiers for a decent amount of output power. As you can see below, there's the specs for both the 3.5mm and the 4.4mm balanced respectively. In USB DAC mode, it supports up to 32-bit 384 kHz with DST-256, and the Bluetooth chip in here, I don't remember exactly which chip it is, but it does support Bluetooth 6. And if you want to use it as a transmitter, so you're connecting Bluetooth headphones or TWS earbuds to it to listen to the CD player, it only supports SBC and LDAC. And I put an asterisk by LDAC because that only recently came with a firmware update. But as a receiver mode, so using it as a Bluetooth DAC, it supports LDAC, AAC, and SBC. As I said before, it has gapless playback. It has a screen, not a touch screen, just a screen on here to see the information. It has all button controls. The battery life is supposed to be up to 12 hours, but we'll get into that. And it is fairly light at 418 grams. So with the specifications out of the way, what do you get in the box? Well, everything you see here is what you get in the box. So this is the box, just a basic box. There's nothing special about it. It is fairly minimal packaging, which I appreciate. You, of course, get the EC Play CD player, a USB-A to USB-C cable, and some documentation. So you get the warranty guide, the quick start play, which has all the instructions on button combinations and things like that. And, of course, Shanling's sort of history, because they have been around for quite a while in the audio space. So we'll just move that out of the way for now. Maybe this move over here. And we'll go right into what this thing is. So the Shanling EC Play, it's made of aluminum. It's very nice. It's very solid. It doesn't have a lot of elaborate branding on it. You just have the Shanling engraved logo here. It's pretty light and compact, all things considered. Definitely not like, say, like a Discman, Sony Discman, if you've used those before. But considering what's in here, it's pretty small. So here on the front is a 4.4 and a 3.5mm outputs. On the right side is a locking mechanism for the lid. On the back, we have the 3.5mm spit if out. This is the Bluetooth antenna, and then you have a USB DAC and a DC power in, so that you can charge it separately from a computer. On the left side, there is nothing. On the bottom, we just have like 4 rubber feet here, basically, to make it stable on the desk, which it is. And then again, here's the top lid. So the top lid has a window here, so you can see inside the player. Has a small screen here, and then of course we have clicky buttons. And as you saw, the locking mechanism on the right here makes it so you can't just flip the lid open unexpectedly. Because if we open it up, this is what it looks like. So this is as much as it opens. Zoom out here just so you can see that better. This is as much as the lid will open, which is fine. It doesn't need to open more than that. And it does have a magnetic clamp on it, so that you can't just like that easily open it. But so upside down it won't open, but if you do that, it'll open. So it's not a strong magnet, which is why there's this locking mechanism on the right. Pretty nice, pretty thoughtful design in my opinion, especially with the window. I do like it. It is obviously very sturdy because it's made of aluminum. It typically doesn't rattle, so I'm shaking it right now. You don't hear anything. It's not pocketable. It's more transportable than anything else, right? So which is fine. I mean, given everything that you get with this, I think that's usually how it is. There are some cases available. I don't have any, but I'll put on the screen the cases that are available, which kind of make it more transportable and portable so that you can protect this device when you're out and about. So again, no touchscreen, it's just a visual screen, and you do not need an app or anything to use this. It's just all like, basically you get the player and you can just start using it, which I do like. So I have a bunch of CDs here, CD cases here if you hadn't noticed. Some are in good condition, some are in not so good condition, depending on how long I have had it. When I was younger, I was not that careful with CDs, but anyways, let's put a CD in. So let's take the good old Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Basically, you put it in like this, it sits on here, so it doesn't like, the spindle, some of them on some CD players, such as like say the FiiO DM13, I think the FiiO DM13 has that. Basically you would snap it into place, but on this one you just sit here, and then there's this magnetic spindle here which keeps it in place, just like that. And as you can see through the window, you can see the disc. Now, of course, make sure you lock it so that you cannot just pull this open. And even with the disc in, you don't hear anything. It sits nicely. It's not going to get banged around, which is good, because technically there's no like ESP or shock protection, but I will get into that in a bit. Basically what I want to do right now is walk through some of the controls. I showed you how to load a disk and how easy it is, and if you want to power it on, you just hold the power button for a second. I'm just going to clean the screen off here and maybe clean the window a bit. The disk is spinning, which is pretty cool. So it's loading, as you can see here. I do like the screen in general. It just feels like there's enough information on it, but yet it doesn't feel overwhelming. So it shows you the number of tracks, it shows you the total time, battery indicator. I wish it was a percentage and not just this bar. I always hate when it's just a vague bar, but anyways. It also shows you like its low gain, the current volume, and basically the filter type, and then the play mode. So you can do like shuffle. You can do the single order, which is what I have it set to. So the power button, this is the stop or change function button. Between CD player, USB-DAC, and Bluetooth DAC. Previous track, play pause, as well as the menu button, next track, and then of course the volume buttons. So if we hold this, we get into the menu system, and you can see there's 2 gain modes, and you hit, whoops, I guess I can't go back, that's right. So use the play button to go through the various options, and you use the previous track and next track to go through low gain, high gain, that kind of thing. So once you selected it, and you want to go through the rest of the options, you can choose through the various filters here. So there's 5 filters, so fast roll off, slow roll off, low latency fast roll off, low latency slow, and then of course non-oversampling mode. I typically liked the filter 2, which is a low latency fast roll off, as well as the non-oversampling, just as an FYI. So if you want to go to the next option, you click the play, CD mode, play modes. So normal, repeat all, repeat one, random, back to normal. I like normal. I like to listen to my tracks in order on a CD. Brightness, we'll just crank this up all the way, but if we go all the way low, as you can see, it gets pretty dim. It looks more visible actually in the video recording than it does in like person. So if you're in a very dark room, this is actually perfect. Oops. Yes, after a second, it does go out of the menu. But we'll go all the way to the highest brightness so it's easier to see. Screen off, never. Or you can do like 10, 20, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, all the way up to 1 minute, and then never. So it also has left and right balance, which I do know some people appreciate either due to hearing issues or just because depending on what they're using to listen to this. I'll just hit stop for now. And there's various themes. So I like theme 5, so this is theme 6. I'll just quickly go through them all for you. Theme 7. It's kind of like a dynamic theme, the background there. 8. Not a fan of that one. This is the default theme, which is a nice color aesthetic. I do like the orange. This is kind of an interesting like galaxy one. So you have a lot of options, which I do appreciate because on all the other players, you can't really change the theme. Oops. My preferred one sort of has this like sort of like kind of a planet background, but I like the color of the lettering, so like kind of like lighter blue. So then this is where you also choose the output, so you can do headphone output, Bluetooth. Oops. The controls do take a little bit getting used to, even though I've been using this for a while now, for about just over a month, I think. I still haven't memorized them. And then back to gain level. So options are pretty nice. Again, you hold the menu button, the play pause button to go back to the main menu. If you want to change the mode, I'm just gonna hit stop here. You hold this. Oh, sorry, hold it to lock the screen. But then you press it again when disk is stopped in order to go to USB-DAC, Bluetooth DAC, and then back to CD player. So we're gonna play, I'm just gonna hit play here, and it'll play. And then of course the volume buttons to change the volume here. Play the disc. Playback is pretty smooth. You know, hit next, goes to the next track, hit next again, next track, and go 2 more. It's pretty like, I would say the screen makes it show like it's slightly less responsive than it actually is, because when you have headphones or IAMs plugged in, it is pretty responsive and it does things right away. So it does a lot of things I appreciate. And you know, if you just want a very straightforward basic CD player that just plays the CDs as you want them, this will do that. So to power it off, you hold it and it goes power off. I am just going to take a CD out for now, because I want to show you how this looks actually compared to a couple other CD players. This is Shanling's other portable CD players. And I say portable in quotes because they're pretty honkin' CD players. And this seems like kind of large by itself, but like the EC Play. But when you compare it to the EC0 AKM and the EC0T, so this is the R2R one, R2R DAC with the tube, the tubes in here, it's pretty small actually. Obviously these look more premium, but you know, with this going for, you know, $200 US, and then the AKM going for $320, and then the 0T going for $589. It's quite a big price difference. And if we look at the thickness, so while they're roughly the same thickness, this has a substantially smaller footprint, as you see. So if we do, because the EC0 AKM and EC0T are the same design, but this is substantially smaller. Actually, let's do it on the AKM because the silver will give a better contrast to it. Yeah, so if you want something that's more portable and you don't need all the bells and whistles of this, then you could definitely go with the EC Play. I will also bring two others here. So these are FiiO's CD players. I don't have all of them because I have a couple other variations, but for all intents and purposes, this is the DM13 and this is the DM15 R2R. They also have an AKM version, just the regular DM15, but Shanling beat them to it. So the EC Play is smaller than the DM13 actually, and although it's roughly the same type of design, but you don't get a screen on the top and you don't get a window, even though there is like a skylight window version, which is more expensive. The DM13 is about $150 US, up to $180 if you want the skylight version, and the DM15 is $270. So the EC Play is the second cheapest of these, but has way more features than the DM13. And if we just kind of look at the thickness here, obviously the DM15 is a bit thinner, but the DM13 is about the same size, maybe just slightly thinner, but is wider, ever so much wider. And you know, the screen's on the front, it's not as easy to see, it's not even that great of a screen in my opinion. Yeah, this has the spindle where you have to put it in. Anyways, I just thought I would show everyone these, how it compares, because I know these are all very popular players for CD players, CD listeners to consider for a CD player. So I think everyone has their own reasons for choosing a CD player, and I think even just that little comparison should help those of you who are considering one or the other. Although I really do like the EC Play. So as I talked before, the clamp in here, it has a magnetic clamp and it holds the CD nicely inside, and it has been, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the playback performance. So it doesn't have like ESP or shock protection like the other players do. But I never really had a situation where that became an issue because it keeps the disc so nicely in. Like, I'll just take a different CD here. You know, this one's Dire Straits, great album, Love Over Gold. You shake the thing, so I turn it on. We'll actually play it. If it was loading, we'll see it spinning there. I'll hit play, so you can see that it's playing. You can see the disc spin. I'm doing this, and it won't skip. If you drop it, I don't want to drop it, but I have accidentally, maybe from about this height onto something soft, and it, for a split second, sometimes will skip, but it's not very often. So in most situations, I could even do like this. I can even put it on the side. I can do it like this. I can manipulate it any which way and it won't skip at all. It's only when you actually have a physical impact on it that it might skip. And I think for a portable CD player that does not have any official anti-skip technology in it, I think that's pretty good. I do like that. Now, all those players I showed you, I never actually encountered an issue with skipping either, even when I had ESP off on the FiiO players, but they're all pretty good. But this is durable in this sense that both physically this player is durable and it won't wreck your discs and it won't skip your discs while you're playing them. So I guess now talking more about playing CDs and just general usability. So I have a bunch of CDs in here, and it's not just by accident that I chose them, but you know, Dark Side of the Moon here, it is a CD you must listen to gaplessly, because if you listen to this with no gapless support, it's going to put those half or 1 second gaps in between the tracks, and it just ruins listening to it. Same with Animals by Pink Floyd. So gapless playback has worked perfectly in, using both headphone outputs and using Bluetooth as well. So no issues there. CDs that are scratched, like I have this CD from Brick and Benjamin. I don't know how well this will show, but it has like some pretty prominent scratches on it because I think this came out in like 2004 and I've had it since then. And it's gone through many CD wallets and car stereos and everything. And I was young and stupid and didn't take care of my CDs very well sometimes, but it played perfectly. I didn't encounter any skips or any issues while playing this. So I'll even put it in now just to show you that it actually does play just fine. Another CD I've had for a while, and no scratches though on that one. Because, as a CD listener, you have like this ritual of putting a disc in, and you have like the album art here, the CD pocket, let's hit play, so it detects it fine, plays, spins. Even though it's a scratch disc, it does play, get recognized just fine, and it plays just fine. So it's really nice in this regard. If I go to, let's see, well, let's take a look. So this is an HDC, this is Tools Lateralis, and this is the HDCD version. Plays HDCDs just fine. Deftones, White Pony. It's an enhanced CD, a bunch of video content on here. It plays enhanced CDs just fine, but one thing I will show you that it does, and a lot of other CD players do as well. Just it's a track recognition issue, just how they're how it's reading the data on the CD itself. So it doesn't show you the total track time. It shows you the correct number of tracks are present. There's 12 tracks, 12, see? But it doesn't show you the total track time because it's an enhanced CD and it can't read that information from the disc, just to do with the way that the information is organized on the CD. So this is an issue that's pretty common in portable CD players, not all, but some. And it's an issue here if you want to see the total track time. But the CD itself just plays fine. And I mean, you can go. And just as an FYI, there's like no sound from this player while it's playing. When it spins up, there's a slight squeak. Otherwise, it sounds dead silent. You will not hear this thing, which is a great feature because it's pretty annoying to hear the CD player squeaking and everything. Like the FiiO DM13 is pretty notorious for that. It's kind of a squeaky CD player, especially as time has gone on, but this one has been perfect. So quiet. Because, the spin up and spin down of the disc, you can't not hear that, but it's so subtle, it's not an issue at all. Also, let's go out here. So I have two CDs here. These are SACDs, so this is Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral, and this is the Dire Straits album, Brother in Arms. This is their 20th anniversary one, so these are both SACDs, Super Audio CDs. Now, these are hybrid CDs, and what that means is on the CD, it's a CD, it's a Super Audio CD, so it has like, the high-res format on here and the Super Audio format. But it also has a CD layer with the regular Redbook CD on it. And a hybrid SACD has both of those combined so that you can use the SACD on an SACD player and the CD portion of the hybrid layer on a regular CD player, and it will play just fine. As you can see, 9 tracks, total track time. We hit play, works just perfectly. Same thing with the 9 Inch Nails disc there. Works wonderfully. And this also works for like CDRs and CDRW, so write and read-write CDs that you've burned yourself. So I didn't have any real issues too. The other thing too I wanted to note is because I know for the FiiO players, some people have had issues with like long albums such as this one. This is the Smiths Louder Than Bombs. So it's about 82 minutes, I think. We'll just pop it in here and see. You don't need to lock the thing for it to play, by the way. It's just so you don't have to lift, so the lid doesn't come up while it's playing. Okay, so it's 24 tracks and it's 72 minutes and 45 seconds. Sorry, 72 minutes. But usually anything that's above like 65, 70 minutes kind of goes above the Red Book standard. And some players have issues with it. I've seen people complain about the FiiO players having issues with this. I personally have not had that issue on either of those FiiO players that I have. I can't get it to skip on longer CDs or CDs with a lot of tracks on them. And I've listened to it like 4 times on this and on the EC Play, and I did not have that issue on here either. So either I'm really lucky, or I don't know, but again, I just have not had that issue of long CDs or CDs with lots of tracks on them. So that is I'm just giving you my feedback on my experience with it. Battery life and charging. So Shanling does claim up to 12 hours with this. I was getting more in the 10.5 range, especially if using over-ear headphones. It goes down to about 10 just because it requires a little bit more power. But yeah, I get about 10 hours with it, or 10 to 10.5 hours with it. And obviously lowering the brightness of the screen will help, and keeping volume down will help. But I think even like 10 hours is just fine. You can listen to like, well, depending on how long the albums are, you can listen to almost 10 albums with that. But one thing I will do too is I'll just show you the charging experience. So the DC in here, come on now, plug it in, little charging icon here. Oh, I guess I should zoom that in. And if we power it off and I plug it in, it will charge with it being powered off, and it'll give you a nice big battery display. There is no battery bypass, so you cannot use this as like a desktop. Well, you can use it as a desktop CD player. You're just going to be draining the battery the whole time, and it won't be good. Bluetooth. So as I mentioned before, this is a Bluetooth DAC, and it also supports connecting to Bluetooth headphones and earbuds. I tested the earbuds and the headphone part with a bunch of different things. So like the Earfun Air Pro 4 Plus earbuds, the FiiO Link TWS, which I'll have a review on soon. It's their Bluetooth ear hooks for IEMs. The Sennheiser Momentum 5, also tried it with that. All those worked fine. They're going to connect it SBC, unless they support LDAC like the FiiO Link TWS and Earfun Air Pro 4 Plus. Now, the AirPods won't connect. I didn't get my AirPods 4 with ANC to work on here, which is pretty common for stuff that doesn't have AAC support. They would connect, but then after like I use the controls to like pause the music and then play again, and it wouldn't work, and I have to reconnect them. It's it's something I've experienced on a lot of audio gear, especially digital audio players that don't support AAC. So just be wary of that. Not that I think you would really be using Bluetooth with this player anyways. It, in my opinion, kind of ruins the experience, but that's just me. Basic Bluetooth support is there, especially LDAC. Now, I will just quickly bring up something. So I use my Kidalix 5K to test in the Bluetooth USB mode, just to see what kind of bitrate I was getting with LDAC. And because you don't have any options on here to choose different like codec or to choose like a level of LDAC, so like there's 3 modes to LDAC. So it always connected at about 300 kilobits per second, and it was very stable. No matter like if I went 2 meters away, it was very stable. I didn't hear any like stuttering or noise issues, but just note that to me it looks like you're not getting the 990 kilobit per second LDAC experience with this. And I could be wrong about that. It could just be an issue with the Kidalix 5K, and it could just be an issue with the USB-DAC mode that's limited, not the Bluetooth like transmit mode. But again, just something to be aware of. One other thing to note is that there is no CD ripping on here. So the other players do feature some form of CD ripping, where you can plug in a USB drive and it'll rip the tracks in real time, so 1x to that USB drive in WAV format. No such thing on here. Not a big deal in my opinion. I think that it's perfectly fine to exclude that option because I never use the CD ripping feature on those other players anyways. I have a proper USB external drive that I use that'll do it up to like 24 times reading to rip CDs. So if you're intending to rip CDs with this, or any of those players, I wouldn't bother. Buy a dedicated external CD drive, or CD/DD drive, DVD drive, whatever you want, and do it that way. So just to sum up, I guess, the overall user experience then, this focuses on just a plug-and-play kind of product, and I think it really succeeds about that, or with that. All CD formats are supported, and they play just fine. I really like the portability of this. I like the feel of it. I like the build quality of this thing. I like the look of it. The functionality is perfect. The buttons are all like nice and clicky, and they work really well. I had absolutely no issues actually with this. It was just a fun and easygoing experience, which is exactly what I want when I listen to CDs, because I'm usually listening to CDs to uncomplicate my listening experience. One other thing I will just note is the firmware update process is a pain in the ass. You have to download you have to use a Windows computer, I think. Maybe you can also do it on Mac, but I think it's predominantly Windows. You have to like plug it in through USB, update it through this, and then you have to also download the Edict Player app. I think it does work on iOS, but for sure on Android it works. Update the Bluetooth module using the Edict Player app. So there's like two parts to this firmware update experience. Thankfully, it like shouldn't happen very often because Shanling's really good about this kind of stuff, but I do not think the firmware update experience is very fun. Okay, switching gears a little bit and getting into the output power. So I had put the specs of it up previously. We'll just do that again. So the 3.5 millimeter single-ended, there's two gain modes, right? So low gain is 44 milliwatts at 32 ohms per channel. This is all per channel, by the way. High gain at 177 milliwatts. For 3.5 millimeter, this is just fine. You're going to use IEMs for this, and it's going to drive all IEMs with ease on low gain. The 4.4 millimeter output, 177 milliwatts on the low gain, and 700 milliwatts per channel on the high gain. So using I will just take this off the screen here, and I'll just show you like something like this. This is the Odyssey LCD2. These are planar magnetic headphones. The ohm rating is not that high. I think it's about 70 ohms on this, but these are demanding to drive, to get the sound experience you want. These are pretty demanding, and I was able to get it just fine on high gain on the 3.5 millimeter. On the 4.4 millimeter, it sounded great. So no issues driving headphones like this. Probably what you'll be using is maybe headphones like this. This is the Sennheiser HD505. I also tested the HD550. These are 120 and 150 ohm impedance headphones, respectively. Sounds just fine with this thing. Sound more than just fine. Sounds great. IEMs though, and we'll talk about noise floor. So this does have a slightly elevated noise floor. So very sensitive IEMs, such as the Campfire on Andromeda 10, Campfire Audio Iris, the SimGot EA1000. Those three IEMs I tested with, you could hear background hiss, and this is on both outputs on the front, the 3.5 and the 4.4. So with very sensitive IEMs, there is a noise floor you can detect with this. If you don't want any noise floor, go with the Shanling EC0 AKM. Sounds amazing if you want those very sensitive IEMs. This IEM, the 64 Audio Solo, it is a somewhat sensitive IEM, but there is no, I don't hear any noise floor on this. So this works really well with the EC Play. Just another IEM that I like. This is the Dunu DN242. This is not a sensitive IEM, but it has a higher impedance value, and it is a little bit harder to drive. It's not really that hard to drive, but it does require maybe a bit more volume, and this provides it just fine on low gain. And this is all on low gain, by the way, for the IEMs. Again, just fine. So IEMs, headphones, it's going to drive pretty much anything you want, and if you have really demanding over-ear headphones, then you're probably going to want a different device for that, but I think you probably already know that. Let's see here. I guess let's very, very, very quickly talk about the sound quality, because I think there's really not much to say about the sound quality here. It has a very good, clean output, and I'm talking objective sound quality. Very good, clean output. I already talked about the noise floor, but I really didn't hear anything wrong. I didn't hear any distortion when using IEMs or over-ear headphones at different volume and at different gain levels. It all sounded great. It uses the CS43198 DAC chip, and I mean, I think it just presents it pretty neutrally, to be honest with you. I don't detect any coloration to anything. So if you know, Shanling does have their own house sound that they typically do for digital audio players, but I kind of don't hear it with this. This just feels like a very transparent source, and I think that's exactly what you want for something to do with like analog audio. You don't want this coloring the experience in any way. So the headphones and IEMs that you're going to plug into this are going to sound as they should, and the CDs will sound as they should. So it's not going to change the frequency response in any way. So that is my experience with it, and I'm not going to go into the absolute minute details of like the bass, mid-range, and treble of that, because I think in a way it's kind of nonsense to do that. It sounds really good, sounds really clean. That's kind of all you need to know. As for value, so this is $200 US, and obviously it's more expensive than, like, let's say some very cheapo Amazon players, but those players typically don't support things like gapless, and they don't have a very good connectivity options, and they don't have good outputs, and they typically don't sound very good either, in my opinion. This is, I think, actually incredible value considering what you get in here. You get like a proper like DAC chip in here. You get an amazing amount of output power on both the outputs. Battery life is pretty damn good at about 10.5 hours. CD support is excellent. You have like a nice screen, you have a window, you can see the CD spin, which, you know, maybe we should do that right now. Let's see, let's do this one maybe. Mark Lanigan's Whiskey for the Ghost, we'll just throw that in there. Just because I want to see something. I want to see something spin. I'm that kind of a guy. I like to see stuff spin. Basically, like if you're coming from a, you know, desktop audiophile level CD player, I think this is going to pair really well with that as a portable option. And considering it does support, you know, gapless playback and everything you would kind of need, it's a really good complement to that. So is $200 reasonable for someone who just wants a CD player, CD playback with like basic, like I'm going to plug stuff in and listen to it kind of thing? I think so, because I think this is going to last a long time. And I think that the build quality is good, so it's not going to, you know, break down. And Shanling's a pretty reliable brand. They've actually been around quite a while for their CD players. They have built up a notoriety for that. The maybe one complaint I'd have is the limitation of like no AAC transmit for Bluetooth. But again, I kind of don't see Bluetooth being like a must-have feature for this, in my opinion. Same with the absence of CD ripping. If that is like a deal breaker for you, I guess that's a deal breaker for you and you should be looking at another player, but I do not think the absence of that is an issue. So I guess in the end, who is this for? This is for someone with an existing CD collection. It's for someone who also wants to get back into physical media and start building a CD collection. If you want like good amplification, good sound quality, this is in a portable CD player that's above those like cheapo Amazon and AliExpress players, this is also for you. If you do kind of like those extra features like the USB-DAC and the Bluetooth DAC, this is also for you. If you were really considering maybe the more expensive options from Shanling, like the EC0T and EC0AKM, or yeah, this is probably for you. Basically, anyone who wants sort of a simple but effective CD player, portable CD player, I think this is for you. This is not for someone though. So who is this not for? This is not for someone who wants a very pocket-sized player. This is obviously not pocket-sized. If you want CD ripping functionality, it doesn't have it. If you want to see the track name and album art and anything more advanced like that, probably not for you either. If you want like, if you really want to use your Bluetooth headphones or earbuds with it, but you want to get like, you know, aptX adaptive and lossless and stuff like that, this is probably also not for you. And if you have no CDs and no interest in physical media, this is probably not for you either. I mean, obviously, I guess. So this is the Shanling EC Play. It is a very, very professional package, in my opinion. I think it's a very complete package of a $200, I'll call it budget CD player. That anything you throw at it, it'll basically play, and any headphones, IEMs, basically you throw at it, it'll also drive just fine, with the exception of very sensitive IEMs. So let me know in the comments. What do you guys actually think about CDs? Because I've been collecting CDs since I was a kid, so I love CDs. This is like my main thing. I really like CDs, even though I have a huge digital audio collection. CDs are my thing. I like the listening experience. I like to listen to albums. Do you guys feel the same? Do you guys, is this something new for many of you? Are you as old as me and you have been doing it for a long time? Or are you just, you know, starting to get into this and be like, hey, I like to own my music now and listen to it whenever I want and not have it get removed from music streaming services? Let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you guys. As always, there'll be links and everything in the description below to, you know, this product on Shanling's website, and because you can buy it directly from Shanling, which is always nice. I would always recommend that because you get the excellent sales support from them. So if you like this review like my review of the EC Play, give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more reviews. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll ignore you, maybe I won't. I'm kidding. Yeah, that's the Shanling EC Play. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.